awesome day yesterday, but the beauty of today is I don't have to go anywhere. I mean, we needed to get my brother's boat with the mast up. That was important. I'm glad we did it, but that took up a huge chunk of the day. And anyway, so what I did last night, I did what I've been intending to do for a while, but I treat this boat like my baby, you know. Always keep it covered when there's rain coming. Well, we had rain last night, and I decided to leave it uncovered and check this morning for leaks, see if we've got any places where we had rain that was getting through. And so I'm going to go in and check that right now, and then we're moving on. So, all right, let's see how we go. First place I always check is my cubbies. I call them cubbies, the little compartments along the boat. And that was dry as a bone. No problem there. Okay, go over here. I can't check this. I probably will pull this later today. Oh, here, let me just show you what I'm looking at. Okay, this is my electrical compartment where I you know, did all this new mahogany and electrical stuff. Anyway, I'll probably pull the screws on this later and just check to see if it's dry inside. In the meantime, it's a mess back here. I have everything everywhere. Okay, that's dry, and that's dry. That's dry, and that's dry. Okay, I'll check the up in the chain locker later. But as of right now, everything is dry in here. That's good news. One area that I do have a leak or have in the past is right back in under this. Hang on, let me see it. In there. Okay, I'm not seeing it now. I have one of the screws right under the tow rail. That was one of the original connecting screws that holds the top down to the hull, and I had a slight leak at one time. I don't see any water in here after the rain though. Okay, we're good there. Check back under this. I'm going to show you. No, everything's dry. All right, well that's good. Enough of that. Thing, that I was wanting to do is kind of let the rain last night be a pre-wash, because what I plan to do today is scrub these stake index. I'm so sick of them. Man, they've just been filthy forever, so I'm going to try to get a scrub on these a little bit later when my mom and dad are up. For right now, I'm going to just continue getting the tape off, or tape is all off the starboard side, and I'm going to just finish taking the tape off the port side. So, all right, we'll see you in a minute. Oh, P.S. It is just now 6 o'clock. When I come down here, I take advantage of every minute I got. I'm up at 5. I'm out here by 6. I usually get on the internet for a little while and just try to get a couple of websites finished up that I work on every morning. So, all right, we'll catch you in just a few minutes. Well, this whole business of taking tape up is picky, stinking business. It takes me forever. It's a whole lot worse inside along the tow rail than it is outside, but none of this goes quickly. So, I'm only going to show you a little bit of this, because it's just the same old thing. Your knife along the edge right next to the tow rail without cutting it obviously. Then you want to separate the tape from the edge. cooperative while you're watching. Believe me, it's not always as cooperative. I think that's about all I'm going to show you, because other than this, it's just boredom. Same old thing, all the way down the line. Now, I've got the tape off for about the first, I've got the whole, actually, I've got this, all the tape off to a midships. And so right now, I've only probably got about maybe 8 feet left to do between here and where I've already got it done back to there from the bow. So, all right, well, I'm going to shut this off for now and continue to work. Like I said, I don't want to bore you to death here, but it's all part of just getting this one job finished up that started so long ago when I started doing a citrus strip on it. I think it was 2 summers ago. I've lost track. Hey, good morning from Little Girl. Well, we're about to do a new stuff corner, but I have to tell a story first. After I got this boat, the guy who owned the boatyard at the time mentioned that there was stuff that he was going to give me and so forth, and I asked him, do you have a little stove? And so he went over and dug out this Origo, I think that's how you pronounce it, Origo 2-burner alcohol stove, which is worth a lot of money, and said, here, you can have this. Well, it had been sitting under a tree for a couple of years, and it was just absolutely messed up and filthy, and I completely reconditioned it. And you know what? I was thinking of the size of this boat and everything. I gave him that machine back, that little alcohol stove back. Never should have done. That was a stupid move. I got room on this boat for a little alcohol stove. I could put it out in the cockpit and cook with it, for that matter. But anyway, I gave it back to him, and then he gave me that little propane burner that I've been using periodically on the boat here. Well, that's a little cheapy. Good grief, you can get one of those for $20. But in the meantime, what happened was my mom and dad had a whole bunch of stuff in the basement that they're just going to get rid of. And there was a stove in there, not alcohol, not propane. Actually, I think it may be propane, but anyway. And in the meantime, I had watched a video of a guy that was actually using one of these stoves. And so I figured, and by the way, we had it hanging around our downstairs hallway, and my wife was trying to get rid of it and give it to other people in the church. And so finally I said, you know what? I very stupidly gave away the Origo, give it back to that guy. I think I'm just going to go ahead and claim this, because at least it's 2-burner. It, again, is propane. It's really easy to use. You can take it out and put in the cockpit. You can have 2 burners, and it works like a charm. So anyway, the first thing on New Stuff Corner is right here, and this is my new, quote-unquote, very old, classic, in really good condition, Weber grill. And so here, hang on, we've got to turn it around. Okay, so here it is. Nice little Weber grill. There's your little electric start thing. It has these little stands that go underneath it. Actually, they fold right up over the top and secure it when it's not in use. Propane, or yeah, I guess it is propane. I'm looking at it right here. The propane bottle, this is a brand new propane bottle. I don't think it's ever been used. So anyway, I've got a nice little stove for the boat here, and I'll probably just take this and shove it in, up under one of the quarter berths, and let that be its home until I'm ready to use it. But in the meantime, I've got the other little single burner cheapy that I was given after I gave him back the Origo. All right, next thing in New Stuff Corner, and again, it's not new, but I was digging through a whole bunch of my stuff out in the garage, and I came up with this wonderful little fender. Little is the word. Compared to the big ones that I had that came on this boat, this is a tiny one. Actually, I think I had this aboard Clarissa that I built from scratch. That little boat was 12.5-foot Cape Cod oyster skiff. And anyway, I think I had this aboard Clarissa, and I don't remember using it, but it's in really good condition. I scrubbed it. It was filthy when I got here last night, and I just scrubbed it all up, and it's looking good. So I think I'll use this up under the anchor, up on the bow. You know, just kind of leave it up there and use that. You know, if I got to put the anchor down on the deck or something like that. So next thing, and again, this is kind of a really chippy new stuff corner. But I was talking to some of the guys on the Seafarer website, which I'm a member of, and we're talking about the knives. And of course, I had, matter of fact, I did a whole episode about knives. And a matter of fact, some of you have probably seen that. Hang on, let me dig out my other knife that I use all the time. And this is a nice little pocket knife. Here we go. This is the one I use all the time. It's the one that I mentioned and it's a nice little, let's see, what is it? I don't think, this is a case. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is the one I use all the time. And the guys were talking about ship knives, you know, ones that they use aboard their boat and everything. And I realized this is a tiny knife. This is not very big. I use it all the time on this boat. I've been using it for 2 days now, getting the blue tape off, and it works fantastically. But you know what? It's kind of small, and there are things that you need a slightly bigger knife for. So I picked up this little jewel, quite a bit bigger, and it also, and if you know my being fanatic about it, it also is a lock blade. And this is by Ozark Trail, and they are super cheap. You can pick one up at any Walmart, I believe. And I've got an Ozark Trail folding hunting knife that I use all during hunting season. Well, this is a very, very, very cheap version of the same thing. Nowhere near as nice, but I'll tell you what, it's got a great, very, very sharp blade. I'm not even going to sharpen it for now because the blade is so good on it. So anyway, that's it for New Stuff Corner. So we've got the grill, we've got the new fender, and we've got a new ship's knife. And by the way, when I say ship's knife, I plan to get a much better one, but for right now, this is considerable improvement size-wise and usability over my little pocket knife. I will use both. But, all right, that's it for New Stuff Corner. Thank you for spending this brief, joyful time aboard Little Girl, and got to get back to work. Well, port side has decided to be nice to me, but see, I got a little strip of tape right there. I'll go back and clean that up in just a minute. But anyway, we're amidships. I just got to do up from here up to the bow, and I'm completely blue taped. Oh, so glad to be done with this. This represents the conclusion of a long bit of work for this old girl. Here's the deal. Just got back, had a whole bunch of errands to run for my mom and dad, trying to get a new washing machine lined up and all that kind of good stuff. So we're back, and I got about an hour and a half before we have to leave and go down to my brother's birthday down at Seafood Sam's. So in the meantime, I'm going to scrub the decks. And this absolute pigsty, well, the good news is all the blue tape is off. Every bit of it. Port and stem to stern, port and starboard, all the blue tape is off. And so I'm going to get the hose up here and start scrubbing things down. And I'll probably just take a couple of pictures at the very end of this because I'm running out of power on this cell phone. So we'll catch you in a few. Script on what I just said. I haven't had a chance to do this in over 2 years. I did this deck scrubbing the day after I got her. In January of 2016. So anyway, been a long time. All right, get to work. Inauguration 2017, not 16, has little girl looked this good. All the decks have been scrubbed, all the woodwork is done, all the tape has been removed, and I'll tell you what, I'll explain later in this video, but I'll tell you, I did all this for a reason, and I'm loving it. She looks good. She looks good. A lot of work, but worth every moment that I spent down on my knees scrubbing with soft scrub and a bristle brush. So, all right, well, that'll be it for this one. Got to head out the door pretty soon and go down for my brother's birthday at Seafood Sam's and come back and do a cake and the gift card and all that kind of good stuff. So, anyway, hey, have a great day, and I'm really happy. Little girl is looking a lot better than Well, guys, it's a beautiful summer evening. Pretty much finished up with this trip. Little girl is all spick and span, and by the way, I was wrong on my date. It was January 21st, I believe, 2017, when I got little girl home here and got her all cleaned up and scrubbed these decks top to bottom, and she looked $1 million. And finally, after all this time and all the work I've done on her, she's looking pretty good. And all the external woodwork is pristine and looking lovely. Toe rails, winch pads, everything. Everything's been done over the companionway, and just glad to get her this far. Yeah, next trip I think we're going to go ahead and mount the Traveler and get that on board. I think we get new screws and so forth for it and get that mounted. Gonna get the coamings finally bedded and screwed home. They've been just in place and held by one screw all this time. I mean, they fit right in, they bend into place perfectly with just one screw. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but it's time for them to get permanently put aboard after all the work that I did restoring them. So I think we're gonna call it wraps. I may be back, well, I'll probably be back out here in the morning to do a final wrap on this, take a couple of pictures, especially if we get some decent daylight coming up. I want to take some pictures of a little girl with all of her nice woodwork in place and looking really nice. So, all right, well, listen, good night from aboard, little girl, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the morning. And been a great trip. I've gotten a lot accomplished, and we'll kind of go through all that and detail it when we see you tomorrow morning. Have a good one. Well, guys, that's a wrap for this trip. Everything's all put away. Still a wreck down below here, but I think I'm just going to wait till next time. I don't hardly ever do that, but this time I am. We're going to try to get out of here pretty soon. So, got a lot accomplished, and just really excited about it. Toe rails are finally done. All the woodwork exterior is just all in superb shape, and got that piece of lumber cut. I'm going to have a little still about that, a little picture. And I'm gonna go ask my lumber supplier what this stuff is. It's not mahogany, but it's some very hard, dense wood. Anyway, whatever. I'm going to use it for that one piece that goes on the companionway and on the slide, and let's see how that goes. All right, guys. Hey, listen, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl, and we'll catch you on the next time. And in the meantime, you guys have a great summer. Hope all of those of you who are out there sailing enjoy your summer. Enjoy it. From those of us who are still up on the hard and working, trying to get this boat in order so we can get out there on the water. So, all right, God bless. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.